You're listening to Season 6 of the Three Angry Giant Fans of the Jet Fan podcast, sponsored by Carolina Beer Temple. Join us weekly as we complain about our team's dismal performances, the shenanigans in the NFL, and other assorted nonsense. We also give our pet peeves and answer listener questions. Check us out on YouTube. Go to our website, angryfootballfans.com, and subscribe to our podcast wherever you get yours. We have a lot of fun doing this. We appreciate all the support. Go Jets and go Giants.
Oh my God! He tripped. He tripped, Danny.
He's still gonna get
the kicker tripped trying to kick the field goal. He tripped over the turf. I have not seen that.
I've never seen that. I've never seen that.
Uh-oh. That's not good. Let's watch this.
I felt good about the holder throwing a touchdown until I didn't. What? He just kicked the ground?
What the hell was that?
Eli, it's like one of your fat 9-irons you hit. You just all brass.
That was like...
I've never seen
my
that.
That's
God.
what Dart said, Danny. Dart said the same thing as you.
Exactly what Dart was saying.
I'm so fried.
So that is the Manning cast version of the Wingway Coup kick, where he kicks the turf, and Manning's and Danny DeVito never saw that, and I'll tell you what, either have I. Years of football, never seen that happen.
Never seen a thing like it. And I didn't see much more after it, to be honest with you.
I said, I mean, that's not as quite, nothing will ever beat the butt fumble, right? Novak, I mean, but that's like, it's right up there. I mean, the guy just threw a pitching wedge right into the goddamn Bermuda turf. He just did. He put his foot, it's unbelievable.
You hit it right. It's your butt fumble. I mean, I'm surprised there's not been a name yet, but when you were getting laughed at by Danny DeVito, I mean, if there's not a rock bottom, tell me what is, because that has got to be it.
Danny DeVito
a laughing stock on national television.
Yeah.
I can't think of another thing I've seen with this Giants team that I'm like, I'll never see that. What could possibly happen that I've never seen before?
Yeah.
There's another checkbox. Yeah. Field goal kicker planting foot in turf.
I mean, the only thing left is like, I'm sorry, like if Dart scrambles around, gets tackled around the waist, and some guy pulls his pants down and he's running around like with his pants around his ankles. That's all we have left.
We haven't seen that. It'd be good. Back in the day, the stuff we hadn't seen before was good stuff. Catches against helmets. Never seen that before. Yep. That's awesome. Now we got our versions of the butt fumbles and driving pitching wedges into the dirt, and it's a mess. Yeah.
So we are Three Angry Giant Fans and a Jet Fan podcast. Your host, Scott, Giant Mike, Cardone, and Angry Jets fan Novak. Guys, we've got a lot of stuff to get into. But before we do it, I'm going to tee Novak up when we do get into the segment, because I think he's going to hit something right on the head, and we'll all have somewhat of a unique take on this. But let's give a shout out first. Hello, Percassi, Pennsylvania. Population 9,000. The name comes from a Lenape Unami phrase, which is Hoxcossing, which means one who goes to place to crack nuts.
What?
The phrase translated, and this is broken English even in the translation, is one who goes to the place to crack nuts.
That's very appropriate from what you guys had to deal with last night.
Yeah. That's part of the reason I picked it, because I saw this. I was like, this is perfect. So it's located between Allentown and Philadelphia. It used to be the home of a big Spalding factory where they would make baseballs, not the basketballs, but baseballs. And it's the home of Jake Kruthamal, who was the Syracuse athletic director for years, and he was one of the guys who helped founded the Big East.
One who goes to the place to crack nuts. So, all I can think of when I was growing up is like at Christmas time, I'd go to my grandmother's house, and she always had nuts with a little nutcracker there. That's the only place I ever had them. Like, we never had them at home, right? So, if the person going to their grandparents' house what was it called? What was the phrase?
One who goes to the place to crack nuts.
All right.
Didn't know this existed.
If you're in high school there and you're a guy, don't you go around like smacking each other, just,
Yeah.
Right? And if someone says anything like, dude, you're from Percy, I think it's Percy if I'm not mistaken. But
it could be Percy. Percy is you're like giving the uppercut.
I mean, you got to do it, right? I mean,
yeah, it's the place to crack nuts.
Exactly.
What's the capital of Thailand?
Percy.
Bangkok.
We used to do that all the time and then smack someone. So yeah, I get where Novak's coming from.
Yep.
So guys, going to the Giants Pets game, and I mean, Novak had a great text earlier today. You know, he said this was the best thing that could happen to the Giants, and so I'm going to tee him up to explain that, because I think that will help us get into the discussion of everything. There's a lot to break down in this. You know, we're going to get to a Jets win here, but Novak, take it away on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I thought that, you know, you guys are so close to it, right? And so you're probably just so angry about the whole situation and just getting embarrassed on national television. I've been there many times, as you know, but I just kind of felt like this was you went from, well, maybe Kafka's the guy, well, maybe Shane's a good GM, to after that, cleaning house, colon cleanse, whatever you want to call it, it's done. Get rid of the whole thing, break it down, blow it up. Whatever phrase, whatever cliche you want to use, talk about the Giants. Last night was the final straw, and it's got to be done. And I think it was a good thing. I think you needed to hit rock bottom. And when you get a national embarrassment like you had with that pick, it's not Kafka's fault that he did that, but it's just symbolic, right? I mean, 2 years ago, I was experiencing this exact same thing with the Fail Mary. And that's when you realize you get a name play that everyone laughs at. You're a laughing stock. People are watching you and cracking up, and it's like, it's over. Let's just cut it. Let's just cut it where it is and just be done with this whole thing. You guys need an adult in the room, and I hate that phrase, but like no other organization I've seen, the crap that's going on with the Giants is just spiraling. It's sad. It's embarrassing. It's just enough. That's how I think.
Yeah. I'll pick up on the adult in the room comment, because we saw two things outside of this game even. So, you know, Abdul Carter was suspended for the first quarter of the game, and it was interesting because there's a guy, Wes Steinberg, who tweets all the time, and he's a parody account, but people latch on to Wes Steinberg and they actually think he's legit. So he got picked up by some national media, and whenever Wes Steinberg gets picked up, we always call it being West. Well, he had mentioned that Abdul Carter was suspended for listening to or watching porn on his phone without headphones, and all of a sudden, like my friend in Denver's like, the Denver News is talking about this. It's got to be legit. I'm like, no, it's not legit. They got West. He missed a meeting, but Abdul Carter, and I don't blame the guy. He's 22 years old. Never experienced losing like this. He's frustrated. He's not acting like a professional. He acted like less of a professional when they asked him about what happened, and he just said shit happens. Dude, take some responsibility and say say what happened. Dexter Lawrence came out and said, grow up, to him. So that happened. And the other thing that happened is Jackson Dart. You know, he got blown up on the sideline, and we'll talk about that play. After he got blown up, he was asked about it in the post-game conference, and he basically said, I'm going to go and play like this no matter what. It's my style. Watch the tape. You need an adult in the room, Novak, just like you said. You need to bring someone in who could be the leader of men and tamp down on this shit.
You want to keep taking hits like that, Dart? Go ahead, man, because you won't be in this league long. You just won't. I watched that play a number of times, guys. I know we were, watching when it was live. We had the text thread blowing up. I was on multiple threads, commenting on the play. To me, I was actually, to me, it was not an egregious like late hit or illegal hit, whatever. I looked at it. The guy what was it, Ellis on the Patriot? He used his shoulder. Dart's in bounds. Dart is in bounds. If that's not a lesson to learn how to get down in this league. I mean, I think it was Stephen A. Was saying earlier, it's like, this is not rec ball, man. This is not, college. This isn't. You're playing with men out there, grown ass men, huge men that can hit like a truck. And this guy Dart, who I've grown to love the guy already, but this style of play, this is where like drop the cockiness, drop whatever that is, man. Like style, isn't that bullshit, dude? Because you're gonna be you concussed and out of this league quicker than Justin Fields should be out of this league.
Yeah, I agree. Nothing dirty about the play. He did lead with his shoulder, but he stuck his head in there. But it doesn't matter. The bottom line is, we'll talk about why that might matter in a minute, I'm sure. But the bottom line on that play is, Dart safely had all the yards he was going to get on that play. He easily could step out 1.5 yards earlier than that and not avoid that hit at all. Or if he still gets the hit, it's 15 yards. If he does that, we just need him to maybe look at it that way. Just get out of bounds a step and a half earlier than you are. Try to draw a penalty. Because when you're staying in bounds the whole entire time, you're just going to get blown up for no reason. The point is there. The adult in the room is a great comment, because Dart's not listening to Kafka. Dart doesn't give a fuck what Kafka says.
Exactly.
He doesn't. Kafka can say anything he wants. Dart's like, who are you? You're going to be my coach for the next 5 games. I think I'll go do what I want. Thank you very much.
And that's why you can't now hire a first-time head coach. You cannot. The shit that's happening, it's spiraling. It's not just even Dart. Like, you've got neighbors tweeting stuff, and Carter's missing meetings, and Dexter Lawrence is saying crap, and Brian Burns is acting like he's too good for to lose. Like, and Scadaboo's going to like WWE stuff. Like, it's getting out of control. Like, you're spiraling. The Giants are like becoming the Jets if they're not already, and you need like someone that's going to command respect. And no one's going to respect like a first-time head coach who was a defensive coordinator of the fucking Chargers. It's not going to work.
Yeah, I agree.
I said this a while ago, and I know he's got baggage, but Dart has a relationship with John Gruden. John Gruden has featured Dart on a few of his shows. They've grown to know each other. I don't know if Gruden's the adult in the room, but he's an established coach. What we need is someone that could say to Jackson Dart, look, I will make you successful. I will play to your strengths, but you gotta work with me here. Basically tamp him down, because he can't play like a wild man his entire career. You got to make it strategic. Like that play where he got hit. And I'll tell you this, it goes to something different. I almost think there's something personal that's going on with Vrabel that we don't know behind the scenes, because the Patriots were headhunting the Giants most of that game.
No doubt.
And I'll tell you what, that play, put anyone else, any other quarterback that's established on that play, and they're probably drawing the flag, not for the fact that they're in bounds, but for the fact that it was a hit with, like basically a hit with forcible contact to the neck area, possibly. But one thing I'll say is, if Dart goes out of bounds, there's no way that guy can stop his momentum. He's going to get the penalty.
Yeah. Mike's right. Yep.
Yeah. So if you play like that in the playoffs and the guy steps out of bounds, you're taking a 15-yard penalty. Are you going to be happy with that, Vrabel? Because Vrabel seemed what he said is, he actually said this was a learning lesson for his team. He said it's teaching Drake May not to get fancy on the sidelines because another team could light them up. And I thought that was a backhanded comment about the Giants. He also made a backhand comment about some defensive lineman the Giants let go in training camp that's a Patriot now, and he said, well, the Giants obviously didn't think he was a good player. The Patriots do think he's a good player. And then there was a hit.
Dart's not doing himself any favors, though.
No.
By after the game saying, like, that's how I play, and I don't know any different. Like, the next team is salivating over that.
Yeah,
like, these guys don't want to have a rookie saying, I have to play that way. Like, no. Dude, you got to just pipe down and say, I got to learn. Don't come out and say that. You're making yourself a target.
Yeah, and that's where the adult in the room comes in. Tamp down on that, Yeah.
Well, because now, to your point, Novak, and I thought about this while I was watching the game last night. Why wouldn't the next team the Giants play headhunt the Giants?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you right now?
Exactly.
Because they're too dumb to take the penalty. They're going to fight back and get an offsetting, or they're not going to step out of bounds, or their quarterback's going to slide head first. Go ahead, light them up.
Here's a guy.
Until we learn we can protect ourselves.
what's ridiculous is this guy. He's just coming back from being missing 2 games from being concussed.
Yeah.
I can see if he hadn't had a scratch on him all season. He's like, this is how I play. He's been healthy all season, been lighting it up. No, this guy just missed 2 games because of a head injury. And those are his comments after the game. Nah, man. Yeah. It's just these guys, and it's not just Dart. It's an epidemic around this league, man. There's these guys. No one. These professional athletes, and you can go on a whole tangent here across many sports, but like these guys, they don't know how to humble themselves. They don't know how to just respect the game. They don't even know how to respect their own bodies in terms of doing, just protecting themselves. The league has done everything they can. They've pussified the league. We know that. So, as football fans, we still want to see hard hits, but not to our quarterback. We don't. Not to our star franchise quarterback. We don't. So when Dart got blown up, man, I can't. That was the one time I barely moved last night. Last night was one of those Grey Goose games, the opposite Grey Goose, where you're just, the painful one. Yeah. But the one few times I did come off the couch was when Dart got helicoptered out of bounds on that hit, and just can't have it, man. Just can't.
Yeah, we'll talk about the whole idea that the league is pussified because later in the game that what really wasn't. One thing I do want to dwell on too is when Abdul Carter was asked about missing his or being suspended. Basically, he just said shit happens. And I know you're a young guy, you can't say that. You got to give the team speak. I'm sorry. This won't happen again. I'm here for the team. You can't just say shit happens. And again, to Novak's point, an adult in the room wouldn't have Carter mouthing off and saying shit happens. Do you imagine saying shit happens if Parcells was running this team?
Yeah.
Thank God you didn't give him number 56. I mean, seriously. The greatest defensive player in the history of the game. As a Jet fan, I'm going to admit to that. And he asked for that number. Are you out of your fucking mind? Yeah. You haven't played a down and you're missing meetings. Thank God you didn't give him, or even asked for 11. Thank God you didn't give him 11. The guy doesn't deserve that. Prove something.
LT missed a lot of meetings too, though.
Well, that's fair. but he showed up every Sunday.
After he already was MVP and shit. Yeah.
So later in the game, there was a hit on Gunnar Olszewski coming back on a kickoff, and it was a helmet-to-helmet hit. And I had a bunch of problems with this play. The first part is that they allowed a fumble to happen on a guy who was concussed and knocked out basically as he's going to the ground. They didn't call it a fumble in real time. They went to the video, called it a fumble. Then they bring the schmuck in who is the ref in the booth or whatever, and he says that it's not a penalty because Gunnar Olszewski at that point is a runner. And I went and looked at the rules. There is a rule in there for impermissible use of a helmet. It is a foul if A, a player lowers his head and makes forcible contact to the head or neck of another player, and B, uses any part of his helmet to butt or make forcible contact to the head or neck area. It does. You don't have targeting in the NFL, but how do you not call a penalty on that play and also give the ball to the Patriots? That the double combination there was just a whammy that I don't understand, especially when the league is so hell bent on safety and talking about safety. Bullshit with safety. They didn't give a shit about safety in this game.
No. I'm glad you brought that rule to the table, Scott, because I was genuinely, I'm not even joking around. I know I am a lot, but I was confused. Because when the official in the booth said that, it just pissed me off because I said, okay, so it's okay to basically headbutt someone like a ram in this league, and you want to tell me about safeties? I'm very glad to hear there's a rule on the books that reads exactly as you said. You said now the NFL doesn't have targeting. They sort of do. It's that rule. And I know why the NFL doesn't enforce that rule. You know why? Because on almost every tackle, a helmet contacts a helmet. Yeah. It's going to happen. But that play, where first of all, Gunnar Olszewski is the definition of helpless. He's halfway wrapped up, and he's turned to the side, and all his forward momentum is gone. Now, I'm not saying they should have blown the play dead. That's not the kind of momentum I'm talking about. I just mean the play was in its waning stages. of being over. And this guy just comes in and lights him up like a missile. And
it's the same guy who hit Dart, by the way.
I didn't know that.
Ellis, yep.
Yeah.
But in my mind, and why I was so confused was how can that play be legal and exist in an NFL where they preach to us about safety and have pussified every other part of the game? How did this, not even a loophole, how does this still legal if this is what we're doing? That's where I was with it. So I'm glad to hear there's a rule. Just didn't call it, whatever.
And this is back.
This
is back-to-back weeks now where the ref in the booth has flat out lied to us. We called it out last week, but this is another time. I mean, he said basically because the guy's a runner, you could hit him in the head, and that's not allowable. It's not. I mean, they, like you said, Mike, they don't enforce it. Yeah. But it's not allowable. And you're going to give – I don't know if you guys caught this. Later in the game, the Giants hit Stevenson or one of the running backs for the Patriots in the head. And didn't the booth actually say that was a shot to the helmet? You almost have to take a look at that and throw a flag. I was floored because they said nothing on the Olszewski play.
Yeah.
I was sound asleep by then.
Can I bring up something that's lost in all this? Is Gunnar Olszewski, is that the best we have to offer as a kick returner in this league? I mean, I want to talk about the special teams for a minute, Scott. And I mean, I want to talk a little bit more about the coup kick because I mean that's first of all, Jamie fucking Gillian. Okay.
What about this guy?
Okay.
Why is he still on the roster?
We've already peeved this guy. We've already done everything we can imaginable about the Scottish Hammer. When they're looking at that, really, I mean, if I don't know if you guys saw Koo's post game comments or whatever about. Because these kickers are so freakish that if the snap and everything's not perfect, the timing, all that. So Gillian the ball did slide in his hand. It seemed to be back in the normal kicking position by the time Koo's foot was planted in the fucking turf. So I don't know what happened there. But Jamie Gillian, just to have any involvement in that play, I would love for that guy to take some ownership and get Koo off the hook, who's a laughingstock on social media and going viral on the internet, right? All that. You knew that was going to happen today, obviously. Yeah. But you would think Gillian would be like, hey, man, the ball slipped out of my hand a little bit. It's not Koo's fault. You think he would step up? Did you guys see any of that from Gillian? I didn't see it today. No. Didn't hear a fucking word from that guy. Does he speak English or does he speak Dutch or whatever? I don't know what he speaks. Scottish? I don't know. Never heard the guy speak. I don't want to hear him speak. I don't want him in my life. I want this guy out of my life, off my team, and he's causing the field goal version of a butt fumble last night. Gunnar Olszewski, nothing against him, the guy but that's the best we have as a kick returner in this league. Does he look like the prototypical kick returner? Is he going to get? When does this guy get past the 30?
Is he going to break one?
Olszewski, he runs. Is it me or is it the guy? He just runs into the back of his own team's, blockers. The guy, he doesn't even make a move, right? So that's number 2. Number 3, was that not the easiest punt return that the Patriots had you've ever seen in your life? We watch a lot of the NFL.
Yeah.
I was sitting here at home saying to my family here, saying has anyone else? I was asking legitimately. Usually when you have a 94-yard punt return, the guy usually breaks 5 tackles. He's bouncing off people. He's making 5 cuts. He cuts across the field. No, this guy caught the ball, ran a straight line, and that was it. And was in the end zone 3 seconds later. He didn't have to make a move. Have you ever seen that from 94 yards?
No.
It was a fucking straight 100. It was like a 94-yard straight dash.
I'll tell you.
And we're not firing anybody today. I know we have fired a special teams coach. How does this guy get on the plane home?
I'll tell you about that return too, Cardone. I don't mean to interrupt your rant because
no, please
epic,
go.
I wanted to keep going.
Keep going.
That punt by Olszewski was a long punt, a high punt, and it hung in the air forever. And it comes down on the 4-yard line, and I'm saying, finally, this is a good punt.
Yep.
And then I realize as the guy's settling under the ball, I'm like, where's the fair catch? It's been in the air forever.
Nope.
There's no giant anywhere near the guy.
You mentioned it on our thread, Mike. Gillian finally gets off a 50-something yard or whatever, and it goes 94 yards.
Then it's going to be down
in the blink of
inside
an
the
eye.
5. Yeah, it's like
Here's the thing I don't understand about him.
Where's this? Where's he? Why is he not doing the fair catch?
He is close to being one of the worst punters in the league by average. He got removed from kicking off because he was he was not hitting it into the landing zone enough.
No, he had one good game kicking off. I don't know what happened to him after that.
And now he fucks up holding. So, I mean, really, what does he bring to the table? Why is this guy on the roster? Like if you were that bad in every aspect of your job, would you not be fired?
Scott, a guy I thought about this today. Aside from, as far as a return guy, Dave Meggett was probably the best in our lifetime for sure. And then, Raina Thompson was our greatest cover guy we probably ever had on punt coverage and kickoff coverage. Since those two guys. Like, why is it that the New York Giants special teams just is not even considered part of the game plan? It's not even considered anything with this organization. We have been dealing with just bullshit on kickoffs, coverage, field goal kickers, guys, punters that are horrible, guys that can't cover, punt, everything imaginable. We are the worst special teams team in the NFL and have been for decades, and nothing is ever mentioned about it. In the media, in the coverage of the Giant news beat writers, nobody. Shit, we don't even cover it. I mean, we hardly talk about special teams. Why not? No. Why not?
And you look at a game like last night. You got a punt return for a touchdown. You got our kicker fucking up. You got a fumble caused by what probably was an illegal hit. But they absolutely that game's close if not for the special teams plays. I mean, they came out they came out boom 17-0. Well, Koo's kick's going to make it 17-10. And by the way, we just got back-to-back 3-and-outs. Mm-hmm. And then we get them to punt again, and they take our returner's head off and fumble the ball. That game, especially if you take out special teams, it's a close game. The offenses and the defenses played a fair game against each other. The difference was the Patriots' special teams was elite, and the Giants was garbage.
Did you get so later in the game, Mike? You were already in bed. I actually stayed up and watched this bullshit. So the Giants, and it was funny. I actually second guessed. I caught myself, but then I was barking at Aikman because the Giants were down 33-7. Right? They score a touchdown and they go for 2. So I was thinking the same thing, like. Assholes, here we go again. Like, you're down, if you don't get it, you're down 3 scores. Like, you get the, and then I was thinking, well, wait a minute. Like, we have to go for 2 again because fucking Koo has a pitching wedge for a fucking kicking leg. So we don't have a kicking game. So naturally we have to go for 2. So I mean, because Aikman's like, it's really the one time one of the announcers questioned, these guys never question teams going for 2. This is the one time Aikman's questioning the Giants going for 2. I'm like, because look at our fucking kicking game, Aikman. That's why we're going for 2. I realized it after about 2 seconds. I'm like, oh yeah, wait a minute. We have to go for 2.
We don't have a kicker.
Like, this is the Gano situation. This has been going on for what other team deals with this where we don't even have the option to kick an extra point?
None. And no other team. When another team has a bad kicker, they miss 5-6 field goals. They replace him, and the next guy comes
immediately. Novak, like the guy's gone that week.
But it's not even missing field goals. You got one guy that can't stay on the field as a kicker. Another guy's kicking his foot into the ground. It's not like you have like normal kicking misses.
No,
it's just bizarre stuff every time.
I'll tell you, like I think Tampa Bay or New Orleans or somebody had a kicker tryout the other day because their kicker got hurt. The list of names of the kickers at this tryout, fucking Justin Tucker was at the fucking tryout.
Yeah.
Why do we have Younghoe Koo kicking the ball?
Or not kicking the ball.
Or kicking the turf.
It's unbelievable.
I mean,
it's really... I one thing though, we didn't talk about it, but Kafka coached himself out of an opportunity. He wasn't, interim coaches generally don't get hired anyway. And even if they do a good job, they aren't the guy. But Kafka, I think where he lost me was where he didn't go for it on 4th and 1. And I'm not a guy who loves to go for it, but you have a 4th and 1.
It was 4th and inches. It wasn't even 1.
4th and inches down 2 scores, and you decide to punt the ball. Granted, you were on your own 40. You were in your own end on the 40, but At that point, the game's over.
I can't get mad at him about that. I can't. He sat there and watched Dable ram his head into a brick wall in these fourth down plays. And, the only thing worse than punting there is not getting it. Right? So what are the odds of us not getting it? I still think they're pretty fucking high.
Yeah. The problem I have is when you don't go for it, you bring Gillen onto the field.
And that's an excellent point too. You're bringing Gillen on.
Yeah. What's hilarious about that, right, is obviously we punt, and then New England just trots down the field, gets the field goal anyway. Like, it didn't even matter. It just didn't even matter. By the way, I said 33-7. I'm sorry, it was 30-7. It was 37 when the Giants scored. So they were down, what then, 30-13. You're like, why would they go for it? They don't get it. They're down by 17 instead of 16. That was the so they were down. So it was 30. So they cut it to 30-15.
I mean, and then they got that, and remember seeing Dart on the sideline going, we're down 2 scores, and I'm thinking, there is not a chance in hell you're coming back in this game. What are you talking about? I mean, I'm good that he's saying that because maybe he's a leader. You're lucky to have him, but other than that, good God, there's no that game felt like they were down by 10 scores. Forget 2. It just never felt in it for a second.
No.
And I know we're staying on the Giants here for a while, but the other thing that happened today is Joe Shane did a press conference, which he was, by the way, 30 minutes late for. And then he got into the press conference and basically gave non-answers, talked about his ability to find talent, did take blame and say the blame is on him for the record. But I got to think Shane's a dead man walking, especially after this press conference.
It was
I hope so.
Go ahead, Cardone.
No, I was just if I could just, you guys bear with me and trot some just some quick stats out here, since Shane, the Giants are 8-0 on the road this season. They extended their franchise road losing streak to 13 games going back to October win in Seattle last year.
0-8 on the road, right?
0-8 on the road this year, 13 straight road losses. Last season, they set a new franchise record with 10 straight losses overall. Shane now has a 3-22 record in the last 25 games, 5-25 record in the last 30, 5-17-1 against the NFC East, 2-14 against the Eagles and Cowboys, and 20-43-1 overall in 4 regular seasons. That's .313 winning percentage. Have we fucking seen enough? Oh, and by the way, Shane's Giants were the first NFL team officially eliminated from the playoffs for a second straight season after our loss to Detroit last week. What in the world would possess you to bring this guy back after just forget about anything else? Wins and losses. This is the National Football League. That's what we're measured by. Wins and losses. What guys in 4 years in his regime would bring anybody walking down the street say, let's trot this guy back next year. Let's bring him back. I'm at the point now, guys, I'm not kidding. We joke around all the time. We say it, sawdusted, vaporized, this and that. Another new low last night where it's almost as if, like I said, when Coop, again, on that kick, I think you saw my text last night. I go, this is now, we've entered a supernatural demonic curse with this Giant franchise. We've surpassed maybe the Jets, Novak. I know you probably will take umbrage with that, comment there, but it's not like, because every time for the last 4 years, some schmuck would always say, Cardone, you're not as bad as the Jets. No, you're right. You know what? We're not. We're worse. I've said this before on this pod. I'm saying it again. We're worse than the Jets right now. We are.
Right now you are. I would agree.
Yeah. Laughing stock of the NFL.
Yes. One more stat for Joe Shane. He spent $100 million on the defensive backfield this year. So Paulson Adebo and Javon Holland, they spent $100 million on for 2 guys that have not improved the unit.
But we can't, we could go back and we could list 1,000 reasons why this guy needs to be fired. I mean, we talked about it over a number of different pods. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is who's going to work for him. What coach in their right mind, what good coach are you going to get to come into this thing and go, I'll work with Joe Shane? You're going to get a first-time coordinator, a first-time head coach who was a coordinator, or a desperate has-been like Ron Rivera to come back in here and coach this team. Anyone else, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that's the only kind of guys you're going to get if he stays.
No,
he's got
Novak
to go.
Is spot on.
No one who's going to take this job?
No.
I mean, you're in salary cap hell. You've got overinflated contracts. You've got terrible drafts. Although this year he had a couple. Obviously, Dart's been great. Don't get me wrong. But Carter, he's walking on bust line.
And it's New York, man. New York is just not a desirable place to. It's just not.
Correct.
Let's be honest.
No, it is.
I mean,
not.
we're all from that area. We're from that, the sports media, whatever you want to call it, and like we've all lived in Charlotte for a long time. But like New York, people like people that live there, I don't think they realize. Like people like New York, on a national scale, it's despised. There's a bias against it. There's like it's. Do you guys agree? I really
100%.
Even with like the broadcast, I can't think of a specific. I was trying to think down. Or of almost writing down a couple things I heard last night, but there were a couple times where Buck and Aikman are specifically calling out, like mocking the Giants, if you will. And the Giants played an awful NFL game, granted, but it's still the National Football League, and rarely do you hear announcers like they were like literally I'm thinking to myself, this is nuts, man. Like they're literally just absolutely just mocking this team. And it just seems to happen a lot more with the Giants than it ever has before. I think is it New York? Is it just because they have New York in front of their team name? The Jets get it a lot. This New York, there's a disdain for New York. You see it even with other sports or something. It's like you see it with the Knicks even. You certainly see it with the Knicks. Maybe not as much as hockey, whatever, but like the Yankees, of course, because they're the Yankees, and even the Mets. The Mets get it too. The Mets get made fun of like relentlessly because of their payroll and their inability to it's amazing, guys. The amount of just mocking comments from the media, which is supposed to be neutral, right, and supposed to just be middle of the road. Nah, man, they bury New York. They just do.
I love it.
I do know one thing, and so I've seen anti-New York bias obviously my whole life, but I know that happens too. Like if you look at the Giants right now, and you look at the Giants the last couple of years with Daniel Jones getting hurt. We have, over the last 4 or 5 years, we have been, not making an excuse, this is statistically accurate, we've lost more starters time to injury than any other team. I'm not making an excuse. That's just a statistic. No one ever mentions that when it comes to the Giants. No one ever says, they look kind of helpless out here. Man, Malik Neighbors might improve this team a little bit. Man, those games where they couldn't hold the lead, I'll bet having Cam Scatterbo slam up into the line at 3 straight plays would help him close out a win. No one ever mentions that.
Yeah.
No.
But I'm reading the headline going into the Patriots-Giants last night, and what's it say? Giants prepare to take on banged-up Patriots because they're missing a couple offensive linemen.
Yeah.
They're
linemen, guys that are just hidden in the middle of the line. You don't even know who they are.
They're banged up Patriots. We're playing without Neighbors, Scatterbo, other receivers down. I think we're down 2 starting offensive linemen from the beginning of the year. Kayvon Thibodeau's not playing. Our best cover corners hasn't been out there in weeks. Banged up Patriots.
Yeah. Our starting quarterback's just coming back from concussion. We don't know how well he was going to play,
Yeah. Banged up Pats.
Well, guys, this will come to light probably in the next couple of months, but Eli Manning again is a Hall of Fame semifinalist, but his path to being in the Hall for the next 5 years has gotten ridiculously hard because he didn't get in last year. And there's articles being written about Eli Manning. Is he really a Hall of Famer? And talking about like guys like Patrick or Phillip Rivers being ahead of him. Are you kidding me?
It's a joke. Come on.
Knew this was going to happen.
I'm not, I hate that there shouldn't be a path to the Hall of Fame. Do you fucking belong in there or not?
Yeah.
I don't care that there's another headline quarterback who might be better than you this year. It shouldn't matter. It's stupid that it matters. But people who are saying that are not wrong. They're spot on. But because there is a stupid protocol and a path that seemingly has to be followed, it's fine. Okay, great. Eli will have to wait a decade to a year when there's no good quarterback going in. Whatever.
I mean, really, if you think about how stupid is it that like you don't get in year 1, don't get in year 2, don't get in year 3. All of a sudden, year 4, you're like, oh, he should be in. You just realized this after 4 years. Like, it makes no sense when you really think about like either you're worthy or you're not. Why does it take time?
I know. Think about right. He's not playing anymore, so he can't add to his resume. So you're a Hall of Famer in the year 2030, but not 2026. Fuck off.
Yeah. Did you uncover a stat that you didn't know about? Hey, we just picked up on this.
And not just talking about Manning. It's just I don't care what player you're talking about. It's the system, and it goes like this. It's like this with every sport. It's just absurd. Like you said, you know what? If you need to put 20 guys in 1 year, then fucking do it. You know what I mean? If there's 20 guys that are that earned the right to be there, then then enshrine them all.
What? You got to create another wing in Canton? Who cares?
So maybe you have 21 year, and the next year you have 4. Who cares?
It's so stupid.
I love when they go to the Veterans Committee and you got these old timers and no one's ever heard of them because they're from like 1895. How do you even know if they belong?
Well, look, man, my favorite player of all time just got in Joe Klecko, and it's bullshit that he had to wait as long as he did. He should have been in a long time ago. And it's just, it makes no sense, any of it, that he's got to wait 25 years and then he gets in. Come on.
Do you guys remember when Carson eventually?
Yeah, Harry Carson basically had to say, "I don't give a fuck about."
So Carson told the committee, he goes, "Get me off the goddamn list. Take me off of it. I don't want to hear my name every year. I've had enough." Carson asked to be removed from consideration. Get me off the fucking list. I've had it. And calm down, everyone. Calm down, Harry.
No one's coming off the list.
No one's coming off the list. We were going to put you in all along.
Calm down, Harry.
I love that Carson stepped up and said, "Enough! Get me off of here. It's bullshit."
Every year, people bring me back in, right?
So we went pretty long on the Giants recap, and Novak had reason to be a little happy this week. Jets got out a win. Tyrod gives this team chances to win. He really does. And at the end of the game, we were talking about, if this game goes to overtime, can we stand it? And Tyrod ended up having a drive. Jets had a couple plays there that they made. But I'll tell you what, the flip side of this is the Falcons have coaching malpractice. They have a lot of talent on that team, and they can't do shit with it.
Yeah.
I'm just glad to be talking about a game I watched.
No, my biggest takeaway from that game is, look, Aaron Glenn is still struggling a lot with like what to do on 4th down and 3rd down and clock management and end of game, and I could go into a whole big thing on that. But my whole opinion of the Jets changed when they made those trades, because I feel like I see what they're trying to do now. Like, I see what the plan is, and I don't want Garrett Wilson coming back. Let's see what these other guys can do. This Adonai Mitchell, AD Mitchell, 120 yards receiving on 8 catches and a touchdown. He's something, and he was a throw-in on a trade. They move the ball well. You can see the difference between an actual quarterback that Tyrod Taylor's not great, but he has stats of a serviceable backup quarterback. What was he? 19 for 33.
Yeah, I got it here. Yeah, 1933,
160 yards. Yeah, 170 yards.
He's not lighting the world on fire, but he's at least moving the ball down the field. He made some mistakes, but he made some decent throws. He's making good decisions. He's running when he needs to. I was incredibly pleased. I thought the defense held up. We've got our fourth round draft choice from Alabama had 10 tackles, Malachi Moore. So it's like all these guys that are like under the radar, like I said this last week, but I'm saying it again, all these under the radar guys you're not your big star players are contributing. And this is what we want. This is the type of culture we want to create. Now, I think Aaron Glenn has a long way to go. I am not saying that they're on the up, on the way up, but they are trending in the better direction than they were a few, 3-4 weeks ago. These guys play for this guy. There's no doubt about that. And I think when you talk about a first-time coordinator, I didn't want that. But the only thing that Aaron Glenn does have is he played the game. So I think that these guys respect that at least. They can connect with him. And then Nick Folk, I mean, you guys, you see what a good kicker does. I mean, and our punter is incredible. I mean, he's dropping them inside the 20 every time. He's
special teams. We just talked about, again, it's like it's not this invisible thing that's not significant in how to win a football game. It's unbelievable. By the way, real quick was Folks' like game-winning kick, was that the ugliest looking 57-yard field goal you've ever seen?
It was.
And I couldn't believe that went through. And Novak, do we want to talk? I mean, how about the last fucking 13 seconds of regulation there? I know you're probably going to get to it, but like, I mean, I guess that's what you were talking about with clock management. I'm thinking, I actually was watching at that time. I was watching a lot of the Ram-Carolina game, which I can't believe I watched that much. I've never watched the Panthers that much. That was a good game. But let's talk about the end of the Jets. I don't know that last sequence there. This is where head coaches they really don't get it. They don't.
You know what? It's funny you bring that up, Cardone. Here's what I think he was doing. So for anyone that wasn't watching, right? It was like third down, I think it was. Yeah. Maybe second, third down. And I'm thinking, just kick it now because it's a 51-yarder.
I think it was second, Novak, right? Yeah.
Okay, second. We had no timeouts left. So I'm like, just kick it now. What are you doing? And they're lining up. I think, as crazy as this sounds, he didn't want to leave 5 seconds on the clock for them to kick the ball into the end zone after we make the field goal, throw one pass because they had 2 timeouts left, and then kick a 60-yarder to win the game.
But Novak, they had a timeout when they came to that. When they got to because they eventually reached, because it would have been a 51-yarder, I think, right?
Correct.
Or 51 or 50.
51.
So,
it would have been 51.
Okay, so they got to the 33. They had a timeout. At that point, couldn't he? I'm trying to remember now the sequence as well. Why did that? If he was ready to kick it down, which I thought the same thing, well then why call the timeout at 13 seconds? Let the clock go down to fucking 3 and make that the last play of the game.
Yes.
And if you miss, you go to overtime.
Right. Agreed.
Right?
Yes, because if he misses, they get the ball. The 47. They make
he calls timeout with like 13, and now he's like, well, then he runs another play. I'm like, well, what are you doing? If you don't get out of bounds, you're not gonna have a chance to even kick. So Taylor throws the ball out of bounds. Then they have the fucking delay a game, and they move back 5 yards. Like
the delay a game was just ridiculous.
And I'm thinking, like, this is so Jago, Aaron Glag. These guys are absolute jackasses. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to coach it. They don't.
No. And Folk bailed him out.
And Folk let him off the hook. I was thinking after the 5-yard penalty, I'm like, there was no way Folk's going to make this now.
But the funny thing was, the week prior, right? He let him kick a 56-yarder to win the game. The week prior, he had a 54, if you remember, against, I forget who it was. How we were playing. And they thought it was too long, so they didn't go for it.
Yeah.
Like,
someone brought that up. That was against Baltimore, right?
Yeah, it was Baltimore. That's what it was. Yes.
Yeah.
It was like a 54-yarder, and Aaron Glenn was like, well, I didn't think that was in his range. What? And he's in the swirling winds of Met death, and he's got to kick a 56-yarder to win the game? I don't know. These coaches, man.
But, I'm so obsessed with Justin Fields that even when he's not playing, I'm thinking about him. Because as Taylor's making some, like you said, the guy was serviceable. You think you're putting up 27 points and moving the ball like you did with Fields. That's how bad Fields is. I love that he's this bad. Taylor actually played, again, backup quarterback, but we know the guy can, we've seen him win games before. We've seen, and again, he's not going to blow your doors off. He's not going to do that, but you can win a football game. You can win a game with this guy.
You can win a game against a bad team.
You can.
Fields, funny story. There was a report that said that they wanted Fields to come in to run the Wildcat, and he declined.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Is that right?
That is what
Justin, you're an RB1. That's what you are.
He's a QB1. He doesn't want to be a gimmick quarterback.
I see.
I got a great stat on Fields and Taylor. So Tyrod Taylor has started 3 games this year, right? Justin Fields has started 9. Those are the games.
Yeah.
Justin Fields has 1,259 yards of passing. Taylor has 780. He's like 400 yards.
Less games.
400 yards behind him in 6
third
less
of the games. Love it.
You know how they love to pan to certain players after a play? They showed Fields after one of the touchdowns, and the announcers actually go, Justin Fields there supporting his teammates. Look at him. and he was like on the sideline. He showed no emotion whatsoever. I'm like,
nothing.
What are you showing here? He had a headset on. That was it.
I watched the Jet game highlights, which are usually packed with Justin Fields, and then they go, oh, and the Jets lost 20-3. But there was nothing. They didn't. I think they showed Tyrod Taylor throw one pass. The rest of the highlights were other things. So if you want to know why someone like Fields gets as popular as he is and why we scratch our heads about what the fuck is it about this guy, we've all admitted on this podcast, we don't spend a whole bunch of time listening to the talking heads and watching the sports shows. We only watch the game. That's all we do. So if you wonder why we know, and it seems like the people who are addicted to stat shows and ESPN and watching highlight reel clips, they think Justin Fields is amazing. They missed the part where the Jets scored 3 points, but they see his 5 highlight reel plays during that game and they lose their minds. And this is what makes Novak's buddies say, "Are you kidding me? We got a franchise guy here. Do you know how many times this guy's on SportsCenter?" Right?
Absolutely.
It's a great point.
Yep, and it happens with all these other. There's a bunch of other quarterbacks they do this with too.
Yeah.
But
so I know we usually lament how bad the games are around the league. This week around the league had a lot of good games. Starting with Thursday, we did Cardone. We had the prerequisite AFC South, both playing each other, which again. We talked about last pod, but there were a couple things there I want to go into. But that we'll start with the Colts Texans, because for me that game highlighted a lot. Daniel Jones came into that game. It was announced he had a broken fibula. He's been playing through it. But this game right here highlighted a lot of the complaints we have about officiating in terms of when illegal contact and pass interference is called. And Tony Dungy actually came out and has said now, between this game and we'll talk about the Cowboys game too, that the NFL has to do something about DPI, because we are impacting games. We're impacting the outcome of games on calls that are borderline at best. And I don't remember the exact way he said it, but he basically said referees should not be deciding the outcome of games based on 50-50 balls, which is what they're doing. And if you guys watched the Colts-Texans game, the Texans go-ahead drive had 3 penalties by the Colts called. And the most laughable one was there was a 3rd and 12, and Stroud snapped the ball about 2 seconds after the play clock expired. And on that play, he threw the ball over the middle. His receiver falls down, and they called the Colt for a pass interference, even though the Colt really didn't touch him. So Steichen's going nuts about the whole fact they didn't call delay a game, and he's going nuts because now they have a first down. On the next play, they get down to the goal, near the goal line, and they call a illegal contact on the Colts, which extends the drive, and then they eventually score. Referee-induced drives are way too common in this league.
Yeah, going on my pet peeve just a little bit, but not really fully there. So I'll comment on it. I think that something absolutely has to be done. And what Dungy said, Scott, that just rang so true. And I think that we've all agreed with it in one way, shape, or form or another. But I don't think I've ever heard someone put it just quite this plainly. He said the replay is there to overturn things that are obvious, but only for a certain amount of types of play, right? He's like, why can't we just overturn anything that's obvious?
Yeah.
Why can't we look at that DPI and say, I know you thought he got shoved down, Mr. Official, but there's no contact there. And when we're picking that up. And I don't know how we get there. I know the NFL's point is, well, if we start reviewing every DPI, that's all we'll be doing all day, which is probably not that far from the truth. But you got these plays like these back shoulder fades. What else is a defender supposed to? There's no way to defend that without interfering with the receiver. So they got to make a decision on plays like that. In my opinion, I think the whole game should be officiated from a truck outside the stadium with video feeds. And you should have 4 officials in there, maybe even 3, but 3 so you don't have a tiebreaker. You have 3 officials in that truck, and they're watching the game, they're watching the replays, and if all 3 of them press a button that alerts the thing in the guys in the stadium to say, we're stopping the game, there's something enough here to stop the game. Right? And then the guys on the field become basically the caretakers. They're spotting the ball. They're not calling judgment calls. It's coming from somewhere else where they can see every angle on every play in super slow-mo and fast. You know, I don't know what else to do other than something like that.
Yeah, I've railed on this before, and I sound like a broken record, but for me, it's always just call the obvious things. Let the defensive players play technique. Let them push, let them grab, let them do what they can to slow people down. Call what impacts the play. Call what's obvious, and if it's not obvious, don't call a penalty. If someone slyly does something, give them credit for it.
Yeah, if illegal contact only starts,
contact is the biggest bullshit. By the way,
it is. It's huge. If it only starts at 5 yards, then there should be a second part of illegal contact and defensive holding. Illegal contact by itself shouldn't be a penalty. It should be defensive holding or not. Did you impair the route?
Yeah.
That's it. It doesn't matter if you're in contact with somebody. That's horseshit. Did you change the route? Did you do something to gain an advantage? Not just, I made contact. That's part of the pussification of the game. He touched me.
I tell you, the worst call of the weekend, if in this case maybe the worst non-call, going all the way back to the early game on Thanksgiving, that timeout that they granted LaFleur and the Green Bay Packers on that false start when they had a 3rd and goal was the most egregious piece of horse shit. Why in the so to your point, Mike? How about going the whole country can see for ourselves that he did not get that timeout anywhere near in time before that the lineman moved. That would have set them back. They probably kick a field goal there. If you guys remember, I believe it was. I'm trying to remember the situation. Maybe help me out. Was it goal? I think it was 4th and 1. And I think it was 4th and 1 or 4th and goal for Green Bay, and LaFleur comes flying in too late with the timeout. The lineman moves. It was a false start, so it would have moved them back obviously 5 yards. And maybe they don't go for the touchdown there. They go for the touchdown after that, and they get it. And it becomes a 10-point game at that time instead of a 6-point game. Why? I don't understand what's the purpose, or what is why are the officials in that situation? Can't they look? What are they doing? Why was that? Did everyone not see that? Yeah. That he didn't get that timeout in time?
He was
so
at
why
least 2
allow
seconds late.
I understand.
Yeah. Everyone
I just don't
in
get
the
it.
world, except for the people in the bottom of that bowl, know that he didn't get the timeout in time.
Yeah.
So why can't we listen to everyone in the world?
I don't know. Green Bay goes on to win the game. That was a huge play. That was a 4-point
swing. Lions.
Huge.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I think there's a groundswell growing right now, because if you looked at the Cowboy-Chief game, every time CeeDee Lamb runs a route, he pushes off the defender and then flops, and he gets the call. And we're seeing it in the NBA too. The NBA is more egregious. Guys are just like if anyone raises an elbow, they're taking their chin and they're holding their head and they're doing
my favorite
soccer
player,
moves.
Jalen Brunson, is the best at that. To be honest.
Yeah.
But when this kind of stuff happens, it almost makes me want to say, I want to go the opposite way. I want to say, anytime someone does that, penalize them. Penalize them for stimulation or whatever you want to call it. CeeDee Lamb does that and he gets a call. He pushes off a guy, then he acts like he's been assaulted. He drew 4 pass interference penalties in that game against the Chiefs.
You can't.
Yeah.
the way the Dallas games are being called right now, you can't underestimate CeeDee Lamb's impact on the Cowboys. Dude is getting 7 and 9 catches a game, usually around 120 yards and at least a touchdown. That's not counting the huge chunks of yards he adds in pass interference calls. I mean, that he might be the MVP if you give him those yards as actual stats. His impact on the game is unbelievable, and it's partially because of what Scott says, partially because he's very difficult to cover, especially under this set of rules. Most of the time, I will say most of the time, when I see a flag go down and it's pass interference against Lamb, it's probably a good call. He's that good, but we don't need to give him the other ones.
Novak Cardone touched upon this. Carolina and the Rams. So the Carolina Panthers ended the Rams winning streak in a rainy game, cold game in Carolina. And God, I have to give Carolina all the credit in the world. They went for it. This was a master class on knowing when to go for fourth downs and when to be aggressive. They really did it well. And I wish Dan Campbell would take a look at this instead of just going on fourth down no matter what, because the way the Carolina Panthers did it on 4th and 2, they ran plays that had outlets for a first down or a guy deep for a touchdown, and they ended up converting twice. And my thoughts on the Carolina Panthers. We have a question about this coming up later. Not a big Carolina Panther fan. Still not a Bryce Young fan. I still don't like the fact that when Bryce Young makes a big play, he does this thing where he just smiles at the camera and holds his finger up or something like this. It's like, I really want to punch him in the face, but it's like, guys, you can't deny that they're doing much better than the Giants right now.
What? Was this a question?
Yeah. I mean, they play with heart every single week, this team. I mean, they're in every game. I was keeping my eye on that game because the Jets were on at the same time, so I wasn't as into it. But every time I looked up, they were converting on a big third down. They were stopping them on a big third down. They were bend, don't break a lot of the game. Well coached. I can't believe I'm saying it.
Well
Carolina
coached.
Panthers are well coached.
No, I can't either. I don't know how this team has turned this around like this. They are a formidable team in this NFC. Christ, they're a half a game out for the division. They're a half game behind Tampa for the division lead.
And they play Tampa twice. So
it's
on the racket.
Yeah, people still talking about Carolina. They're a cute story. Good for them. Good for them. They're fucking half game away from winning the division. And by the way, I was watching a good chunk of that game first because it was just exciting and it was just a close game and I enjoy watching the Rams. I just think that, they're kind of fun to watch. And that was the loudest. I said to my friend, I said, listen to the Bank of America Stadium. The place was rocking. And it was a shitty weather. Scott already mentioned, we don't have days like that in Charlotte here too often where it was, a cold, rainy day, and I was thinking it was Sunday after Thanksgiving. I'm like, oh man, they might not have, it's going to be, even though Carolina's playing well, I can see that place being, pretty empty. The place was, it's the loudest I've heard since the Super Bowl season 10 years ago.
People are excited about that team. Yeah. Yep.
By the way, the Dick turned 42 today, but he did it with a bandage on his nose. And
he probably had a party with his wife. I mean, that's great. What an asshole! And after the game, he is. You guys called him. He's the Dick. What did he do?
He's the Dick.
Called out his receivers again at 42 years old. Didn't take the blame. Talked about not showing up for meetings, and even called out Jonnu Smith. What? Jonnu Smith has been in the league for 12 years. He's a formidable tight end. Shut up.
Yeah.
God, get out of here. Just go away.
Unrelenting dickness. I mean, that's all it
is. God.
What I took most out of that game is that the Steeler fans were chanting "Fire Tomlin."
Yeah.
Bring him to New York. I'll
fire
take
away,
him.
boys.
I'm telling you, you're getting him. It's happening. He is going to be the coach of the Giants. He is.
He's a leader of men.
No doubt.
Mara talks to him, and he says, look, I'd love to come to your team, but I don't like this Joe Shane. Get Goodbye. Shane out of there. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Don't.
Yeah.
Don't fuck around and lose this guy.
No.
Please, Steelers, please fire him, please. And you know what I like about that? Like, the Giants and the Steelers are organizations that are like intertwined.
Very similar. Yep. No doubt.
They are. You know, like the two daughters of one of the mayors. One of them's name's Rooney, right? So there's like their families are tight. Don't you know? Wouldn't it be awesome? Is like they're like, we hate to lose Mike Tomlin. Like we love the guy. We know, but you know, kind of like Jim Fossil with the Giants. Like he didn't do anything particularly wrong, but it's just over now. It's ran its course, right?
No doubt.
So man, it would just be awesome if those two families could get together and say, will you give them a soft landing spot? You bet you we will. Like that would be a natural thing to have happen. And despite Shane, as I mentioned a few years ago, especially now with what's shaping up to be a top 2 draft pick, and again this year, this is an attractive job.
Of course it is.
I've heard some other people argue the other way, but man, the Giants are an attractive landing spot right now. You can't help but think this is just a well-talented team that has just been mismanaged horribly to this point. So,
well, I'll talk about this a little bit when we get to the Bears and Eagles next. But what I loved about Good Morning Football today did a segment about fans calling in and complaining about their teams. And they had Steeler fans calling in. And one guy calls in, he's like, this is like where your grandfather starts a business, your dad takes it over, your son, carries it on the tradition, and then you hand it down to your grandchild, and he screws it up and he wants to go away from the business. That's Mike Tomlin. I'm like, Mike Tomlin has been a caretaker for the Steelers for years. How can you say this? The guy has never had a losing season.
He might this year.
He might this year, but he's never had one before that.
No.
I hope he does, so he gets canned.
I would be something if he finally has a losing season and gets fired. That would be.
It would be great because it would be the Dick's fault, which I even love even more.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be laughing even
on the Dick.
harder at that.
It would.
Jeff Fisher sitting there cracking up, going, "This guy has a losing season." The guy who was like Mr. Mediocrity.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, the Bears-Eagles game. So, we saw what happened with the Bears. The Bears are now anointed as the media favorite. They are the first seed in the NFC. And now all of a sudden, the Eagles are coming under all sorts of shit, which I don't mind from a Giants standpoint, but we are now talking about not only the Eagles taking shit, but like the Cowboys being anointed as the NFC East team to beat. The Cowboys are still 2 games out.
Yeah.
And everyone's talking about the Cowboys as if they're a shoo-in to make the playoffs. Just like we were talking about the Ravens as a shoo-in, the Chiefs as a shoo-in. One of those 2 teams is going to miss it, if not both.
Yeah, Dallas. In a 3-week span, they lost to the Panthers and the Cardinals earlier this year. Everyone knows the Giants beat them week 2. I mean, now you have to say, pretty impressive to go back to back and beat the Eagles and Chiefs. And the Lions look shaky. Now, if they beat the Eagles, Chiefs, and Lions back to back to back, Scott, there is not a damn thing we can do to stop the amount of tongue bathing that is coming to the Dallas Cowboys, even though they could very well do that and still not make the playoffs.
They're still going to be, I was going to say, they're still going to be on the outside looking in. So it's like.
Yeah. So, but there's just, sometimes you just got to duck your head, right? And say, oh shit, here it comes. Like, it's, if the Giants beat those 3 teams back to back to back, I would be running around with Super Bowl t-shirts on, just, oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. There's not much you can say at this point, I guess.
You guys got anything else from around the league?
Yeah, one comment. I brought it up on the text thread, but I think it bears, for our listeners here for this week. We got extended Sala the other day, which is just, I'm playing by myself now at home.
Yeah,
I'm thinking of you guys
I play by myself.
as I'm doing, but I play by myself now with Sala because the Cleveland Browns fumbled the snap. The defense had nothing to do with the play. We've seen a fumbled quarterback snap a million times in this league. Someone on the Niners pounced on a ball, and Saleh is jumping up and down, wilding on the sidelines, and the camera was down, up the guy's nostrils. And we got extended Saleh. I think that was when I was texting you guys. I go, Cleveland fumble the snap, and we got Saleh. Now we have extended Saleh. We have overtime Saleh. Well, I mean, Robert Saleh. It has not calmed down. It hasn't cooled off. And now I'm just a big fan. I'm actually now a fan. I went from despising it to absolutely just glorifying and loving every second of extended Saleh. Love it.
He's got to get a head coaching gig. How great would it be?
Oh, and then the camera time for Saleh. Holy shit! If he becomes a head coach somewhere again, it'd be awesome.
I think when he was the head coach of the Jets, man, the Saleh game was too hard. Like you couldn't. Well, you saw what it did to us, man. Oh my God, it wiped us out. The Saleh game when he's an assistant is kind of the perfect.
Yeah.
It's kind of the perfect game.
It's a nice long play buzz. I mean, you just
start out. Yeah. The Saleh game when he's head coach, man. Woof. God, that was tough.
Yeah.
One side note.
First of all, there's no waitress in the county that can keep beers coming that fast.
No,
so you can keep up with the Salehs.
The one thing from that game I want to mention is that I saw a segment this week about Shedeur Sanders. Is he the front runner for being the Browns quarterback next year? They said this after a game where Shedeur Sanders went 16-25 for 149 yards.
You bet.
Yeah.
And they lost 26-8. At what point was Shedeur Sanders competitive in this game?
He wasn't, and it's the Browns who honestly, who gives a crap who's the quarterback of the Browns? That's what I would say to that. That franchise is just. I think we're bad. Good God, imagine being that team.
Cleveland, look, man, this will all sort itself out because Cleveland's picking in the top 4 again.
Yeah,
and they're going to take a quarterback.
I hope not, but you're probably right.
Is there any quarterback worth taking this year? That's the worst thing.
Mendoza. I don't want to get into it, but Mendoza definitely is.
So, Mike, I'll hand it over to you for previews and predictions.
All right. I think we had a little movement on the chart last week. So, Cardone goes 3-1. His only miss being that he picked Atlanta. Koss goes 4-0.
Wow.
No misses. Yep. Koss goes 4-0. Novak goes 3-1. His only miss is somehow picking the Giants.
What was I thinking? Wow. Good
Hate
God.
those. So you're
so
still
mad at
3-1.
myself.
Still 3-1. You got your Chargers for your lock. So I also went 4-0. I picked New England, the Jets, and had the Bills for my lock. So the movement on the board here is that by percentage points, I nicked ahead of Novak. I am now 38-13 for a 745 winning percentage. Novak is 39-14 for a 736. So it's a 9.09 percentage points.
Damn Giants.
I moved in to third. So, boys, I forgot we did here last time. I know we're going to pick a lock like we usually do. We're going to pick the Jets game, and then we have to pick an upset. Correct?
Yeah.
And the upset can't hurt you. But if you win it, it's
2 points.
If you win it, it's +2. Okay.
And it has to be a 3-point spread or more.
3 points spread or more from right now on ESPN. That's what I'm looking at. So, okay.
That's really hard, man. I was looking at that earlier.
It's not easy.
I don't know who to fuck to pick for an upset.
So we start with Cardone.
All right. Well, I guess the only game of ours. I tell you, I had as much trouble last week. I think I mentioned, it was a coin flip for Atlanta and the Jets, and it did end up being like a coin flip. Honestly, I thought, either way, as that game was going on, it felt like it could have been either way. I kind of feel the same this week with Miami and the Jets. I don't know. I don't know. It's almost like I need to consult with Novak. Like, Novak, what do you think? What do you think? Like,
right.
Oh yeah, you have to pick too. So okay, so Miami's actually given 2.5. This game is at Met Death. I don't know what to do with this game. I thought about just flipping a coin. This is terrible because I'm supposed to give some kind of analysis around who I think should win. But I've got, for whatever reason, I got Miami winning a road game here. I'm going against the Jets again. Not because I really want to, just because I just have a feeling that Miami is going to go up there and win. So I have the Dolphins winning by a touch. It's 24-17.
Now the Dolphins have won 3 in a row, including a blowout of the Bills, right? So
yeah, that's true.
So
I know they're playing kind of, they're back to playing somewhat of decent ball there. So I think that continues, and I think they go up there and win. I'll go with my lock first. Pretty sure I don't believe I've taken this team. I have Tampa Bay over New Orleans for my lock. And I struggled with the upset, guys. I was, looking at the point spreads, and there was some tough ones here. I went all the way to Monday, it looks like, because believe it or not, I don't know what Herbert's situation is, if he's playing or not. I know he's got broken bone in his hand. Do we know if he's playing or not?
He's playing.
He's playing. I know. I had heard he's going to play. The Chargers are dogged by at least ESPN right now. They're showing that Philly's favored by 3. That game is at the Clip. So it's a Monday night. What the hell? I'll give me the Clip in the
Clippers
upset,
for the upset,
which I don't even think it's. I mean, they're 8-4 for God's sakes, 5-2. I mean, is that really an upset with the? But
yeah, it's an upset.
Yeah, it counts.
I guess so.
I'm going to.
I'm going with the Clip.
We might have.
We might have 4 of us going after that.
Might have 4 on the Clippers here.
I don't like this because I don't think I can gain much ground here for this week. So I will differ with Cardone on one thing. I was going to take this Jets-Miami game. I was going to take the home team no matter who it was. And the home team is the Jets. And I think this is a true toss-up. Miami, Achane really is a good running back. But outside of Achane, Tua struggles whenever he drops back and throws the ball. So I have to go with the Jets in this game. I'm going to take them. Novak, they're going to get another turnover. This time it might be on defense and not on special teams, but they could go for the 3rd one for the year or 4th one for the year. I'm taking the Jets in a brutal looking game. 19-9.
Love all the 9s.
And then my lock is Tampa Bay, much like Cardone had against New Orleans. And my upset is the Clip.
The Clip. Right.
And I don't know if I want to do it just to say the Clip or for the fact that I really just hope they beat the Eagles.
I do enjoy saying the Clip, but now I've said it, so I don't have to make it my pick. All right, now I'm going first time in a couple weeks here. I'm going 3rd instead of last. So I went back and forth on this, and this is one of those, I seem to have one of these every week where, I got the score, I write the score down, then I'm like, who's going to win? So this one I've got 27-20, and I like Miami's running game. I like the 3-game win streak, and I like Cardone kind of mentioned, they just seem to be better than they were earlier in the year. I think they're going to be able to score enough points where Tyrod and the Jets can't quite keep up with them. So I've got the Miami winning 27-20 in a game that's close most of the way. I would go close most of the way on that. My lock this week was, I'm pretty sure I haven't picked this team. I'll go back and check, but I'm going to take a little bit of a easy one here, even though they're on the road, and that's Denver. I've lost so recently ago, I don't feel like there's any way I could have picked Denver.
Who they got? Oakland or Oakland?
They're at
Vegas.
Oakland, yeah. They're at
Still
Oakland.
say Oakland. It's terrible.
I totally do, yeah. And then my upset of the week, I'm going to take. I almost took, I know we're trying to actually win, so we're kind of wanting to go with. I'm very tempted to take Pittsburgh -6 over Baltimore. But that seems a little bit too far outside. So I am going to take, because I believe nice guys finish first, I'm going to take Tennessee over Cleveland for my upset. That's a 3.5 point game. I got the Browns getting 3.5.
By the way, I think we already mentioned it. There is an AFC South matchup this weekend.
Yes, there is. I was going to. Indianapolis is playing someone, right?
They're playing at the Jaguars. Yes, they're playing at Jacksonville. Yes.
By the way, that's
every week.
The division. That's for the division lead.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
That's actually that's a game you could actually like tune into and like and have some interest. Exactly.
AFC South again.
Unrelenting.
All right, so for my picks, I'll start with the Jets. I actually like playing a bad team on a win streak because it's got to end at some point.
Yeah.
I know, Mike, you kind of said the opposite, but I actually like the fact that the Dolphins have won the last 3 games. So I think the Jets are playing with a little something right now. They're at home. They usually play well against the Dolphins, so I'm going to take the Jets here in a squeaker, 24-23 over the Dolphins. My lock, I am also going to take the Bucks over the hapless New Orleans Saints, and I was conflicted between the Titans and the Browns or the Clip and the Eagles. But since Mike is the one close to me and I want to not be in last place, I will take the Clip.
All right, the Clip.
I just want to know is Tyler Slow going to be the quarterback, or what's his name? Slough? How do they pronounce that?
Sloth.
Oh, Sloth.
So, Novak, something's going to move on us because I took Miami, you took the Jets. I took Denver, you took Tampa Bay, and I took Tennessee, you took the Clip. So something has
Something of us is going to be in last.
Something's got to shake free there.
Yep.
All right. Well, good luck, everybody. And I've got these recorded, and we'll see how we do.
So we'll go to pet peeves, and I want to touch upon one thing. Cardone brought it up earlier with the NFC or the AFC South matchup this week. Guys, these narratives are killing me. The NFL narratives that are popping up this time of year. The AFC South now we're talking about as being a hotbed of like competitiveness, with the Texans and the Jaguars and the Colts. And all of a sudden the Colts, who started out so hot and everyone was the media darlings of everything, now people are like, well, Daniel Jones, is he collapsing? Well, I don't know if the Colts are collapsing. I mean, they're losing some games. They probably overachieved in the early season. Is it really Daniel Jones that's collapsing? He's still putting up good stats.
Got a broken leg.
And a broken leg.
I mean, what the hell? He's 8-4, and he's Daniel Jones. I mean,
these are the kind of things that piss me off. We have all these narratives going on right now. You have Nick Sirianni. Is he losing the Eagles? Well, I hate Sirianni. I really do. And I will talk about it later when we get to one of the questions. I hate Sirianni a lot, but the Eagles are the defending champs. Right now, they're in first place by 2 games in the East, and people want to make it seem like it's Armageddon and they're just blowing up and imploding.
The offensive coordinator's house is being egged in the Philadelphia metro area, so really? Could they be referring to that? Can you imagine? I mean, this fucking team, like you said, they're 8-4. They're playing, and guys' houses are being egged. Knock it off.
The other narrative too is Ben Johnson. This guy takes his shirt off in the fucking post game in the locker room, and everyone is giving Ben Johnson credit for winning games. And look, I get it. The NFL wants to they want to promote stories. They want to promote stars. God damn it, Ben Johnson is one of those guys that he's really not exhibited any of the traits he had in Detroit with the going for it. What he has brought to Chicago and what Chicago does very well, they have a running game that's very good.
They're the number 1 seed.
A running game usually keeps you going. I still don't think the Bears will be the number 1 seed. I got to back off my bold prediction last week, where I might have been a little inebriated, saying that they're not going to make the playoffs. But I do not think they're going to win a playoff game.
Not going to win a playoff game, yeah.
So This time of year, my pet peeve is just these narratives that keep popping up. I hate the narratives, because the narratives drive everything. We've seen it year after year. Thank God we haven't had a Taylor Swift sighting this year.
Oh, thank God.
because we haven't talked about that. But guys, these narratives pop up, and last week the Bills were on the ropes. They can't do anything right. This week they beat the Steelers. Now the Steelers are on the ropes. Tomlin needs to be fired. It's fucking schizophrenia.
Yeah, week to week.
I'll go to Mike next for Pet Peeves.
All right, yeah. I just want to touch back on something that Scott was talking about with Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams. Did you guys hear the comments Ben Johnson made yesterday?
God,
I don't think so.
He essentially said, we're winning in spite of our passing game, not because of it right now, and nobody's pleased with that. So, delicious comment there, right? Because he said the truth. He said the quiet part out loud. He says what we all know. Caleb Williams, I mean, we played against him. He didn't look that good to me. But so, of course, today he had to come out and lie and walk it back, because everyone who knows a damn thing about football knows the Bears passing game sucks. But anyway, that has nothing to do with my pet peeve. But yeah, it's funny now that when someone accidentally tells the truth, they're forced to walk it back, or they might hurt the sensitive sensibilities of their player. So that's where we are there. So no, but my pet peeve this week, and it kind of got to me really in the Giants game last night, the little bit of it that I watched, is, it made me really yearn for the days, and Cardone and I have talked about this on the podcast before, where you remember there used to be things like, if you started at the 20 and you got 2 first downs, the announcers would be like, all right, this is already a good drive.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're going to punt the team back right now if you get so. I remember watching that growing up. Like, you just don't want to punt from your own 20 or in, right? That was like the goal. It was so conservative when we started watching that was the goal. And I'm thinking about that, and I'm watching these games, and I hear it myself in John Facenda's voice sometimes, talking about it's a game of land control. It's like it's a game of inches. It's a game of stealing your opponent's land and heading toward their base. And it's not what it is anymore, because they give you the land for free now. So I don't know what the game is now, the more I think about it. But, that old thing they used to say about, when you're starting on the 20, it's like you get 2 first downs. That's the first box you check on the drive. 2 first downs, check. Well, they give you those 2 first downs now. They just hand them to you.
Yeah.
So you start there. You start already with 1 checkbox marks.
Wait, just let me interrupt. They also give you the ball at the 35.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. Yeah.
Say 1 first down, you're midfield.
Yeah, that's what I mean. 1 first down. So check that box. So then you're like, okay, well, it does get harder to play defense on the other side of the 50, or play offense on the other side of the 50, right? No, it doesn't. Because if a defender touches your guy, you get 5 yards and a first down.
Yep.
And if you commit pass interference, which is pretty much anything that looks like pass interference in today's day and age. I mean, you can't put your hand in a receiver's back while you swat a ball down. You can't do those things. So those yards are all free. And by the way, those aren't even like 15 yards. That's the whole. You just get all the yardage for that. You know what I mean? You get the spot of the foul yardage for that. So I don't know. The game just doesn't feel the same to me anymore. It's still something I enjoy watching, especially when it's played well. But it's harder and harder to play it well, especially on the defensive side of the ball these days, which is a little bit frustrating. But the game is completely different. It is not a game of controlling land anymore. It's not a game of, like the gridiron, right? That's not the type of game it is anymore. The land is given to you. It's a game of scoring touchdowns now. And a lot of people might say, well, that's exactly what we've always wanted. Well, great. Then you should have made your own game, because that is not what the rest of us want.
It is not.
We want strategy. We want field goals when they're appropriate. We
want defensive stops. I want to get off the field.
Defensive stops. Yeah. Yep. So that's mine. It's just how we've lost this game. And I really got kind of philosophical with it last night about this game of controlling territory is gone. It's not. Yeah. It's not that anymore. It's not that, old coaches would be fine to get to the 50 and punt over and over and over all game and wait for you to make a mistake. And And that's just not the way the game is played today. No. And it's kind of a shame.
Anytime you reference John Facenda, it's a good pet peeve.
Yeah. So, that's when I'm waxing poetic about the old NFL, I hear my own voice as John Facenda's in my brain. The autumn wind.
I don't know about you guys, but back in the day, there was not a more exciting play when your team was on defense and the other team had a 3rd and 2 from like the 48 and you had a big stop and then you made them punt. Like that to me was like more exciting than a touchdown pass or some bullshit triple reverse crap that they run now. Like,
and honestly, you knew they were never going to go for 4th down in that situation.
No, ever.
Unless it was like the 4th quarter with 2 minutes left.
Let me add to that, guys. We've talked about it again, but as we're talking right now, it bears repeating. The 3rd down, like pile up on a quarterback keeper, and they got to bring the fucking chains out, and they pull the stick, and it's short, and if you're the crowd goes wild. They go for it on 4th down. They got to measure again. Yes. They bring the chains out a second time, 2 plays in a row. They pull the stick, and he's short, and the place is going wild. We'll never see that the rest of our lives. That's gone.
Done.
It's gone. I mean, was there anything better than pull that? I remember I grew up going to every Giant game.
Yep.
Pull that fuck. There were guys yelling in my section. You're missing one of the little links there, ref. Pull that fucking chain. Let's go.
It's the best.
Yeah, we've lost it. It's not a game of territory anymore.
The chain measurement, was there anything more exciting than that?
No.
Because the anticipation building as the guys are trotting out there, you can see with the naked eye, they're fucking short. They're short. Bring the fucking punting team out there. Let's go. And they pull the thing. And as they're pulling it, the defense is already running off the field. Yeah. And they're this short. The other short by at least a foot. Crowd's going wild. Gone. They just took it from us.
You're watching on TV. You're trying to see how much slack is left.
Yeah.
Like, exactly. God, is that going to be enough?
Pull that damn thing. Yep.
So you don't like the animation where it just shows you 6 inches short?
It's unreal.
You know us too. I've not seen one yet where it's been like 3 inches short. It's been 6, 12, or 6 or 12. So is it really? I have to question the legitimacy of it, but
it's just the biggest coincidence in the history of the world that the ball always lands either 3 or 6 inches short, or either makes it or 6 inches short. Yeah.
Novak, pet peeve.
Yeah, we're running real long tonight, so I have like 1,000 pet peeves within one storyline, and that is this Lane Kiffin situation, which from the person that he is, which is a total snake, to the NCAA, which couldn't manage a freaking hot dog stand. Like, what? This whole situation was botched, and it's how, first of all, how can the NCAA allow a coach to go and accept a job at another school when the college football playoffs are about to start? It's not that difficult. Move the decision back a month. That's all you need to do. And move the transfer portal back. Move signing day back. It's not hard. These kids don't need 7 months to get acclimated to a school when they're still in high school, or when they're transferring when they're still at another school. It's not difficult. And on top of the fact, so I was annoyed by the media coverage of the thing, because I was watching the Ole Miss game, and all they talked about the whole game was Lane Kiffin, whether or not he's going to leave. We all knew he was going to leave because the guy's a snake. I can't take him. He's just an awful person. The fact that he's going to leave, and then the best comment someone made is Lane Kiffin is the only person that can burn a bridge and try to stand on it, because and then he gets to the press conference today, and you know how I hate this. I don't even know what my offer was, he says.
Yep.
He didn't know what the money was. Get the fuck out of here, Lane Kiffin. What a lie. You're telling me you have no idea what you're going to be making? Okay, so I would love it after that press conference for his agent to go up to him and go, guess what? You're making $70,000. The whole thing bothers me. College football bothers me. It's all fucked up. It's managed terribly, and Lane Kiffin's an a-hole.
Yep. I don't think he was ever a viable option for the Giants, but I love the fact that he was going to be gone from this discussion. What I loved about this is that he asked if he could coach for the playoff, and Ole Miss was like, fuck off. Fuck you.
Mark it down right now. He's going to do the same thing in 2 years when the Alabama job opens up. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
He'll do it to LSU. You watch.
Cardone.
So we were just talking about technology in the game, the current game of the NFL, right? For imaginary first down, fucking measurements take place online. Why then, in 2025, can we not somehow find a way to put a fucking camera right behind the upright on both sides of the upright?
I almost brought that up with the
So
Colts.
four cameras. You have 4 cameras, or just put the fucking camera right on top of the goddamn goalpost. Okay, we have a pylon camera for some reason, right? We have a camera in the goddamn little orange pylon in the end zone. We can't figure out how to move the camera from the middle of the field goal post right on top of the goddamn upright, so we're not having the situation we had with Kai Fairbairn the other day, where everyone in the world thinks that kick was no good, including the fucking Texans, who were standing there ready to walk off the field, and we got this jackoff raising up his hands with a whole. Why are we still dealing with field goals and extra points that we can't tell if they're going through a pair of uprights? Fix it!
It's so true.
Move the fucking camera over a couple feet and get one on the other side, so we don't have these two jackoffs underneath the post looking at each other thinking like, okay, that was good, when we don't. It's unbelievable. Get a camera or move the one. Just put it behind the post or put another 5 fucking feet on top of the posts.
Yeah.
We raised them a few years ago, and they're still not tall enough. These kickers are kicking from 67 yards out. Raise the goddamn post another 5 feet. Get the cable over there. Anchor this fucking thing into the cement so the post doesn't waffle in the wind. And raise the post or put a camera on these goddamn things so we could tell if a football went to the right or left of it or over top of it.
So true. All the
That's
technology, and we can't get that right.
So what the rule on that is, if it even goes over by an inch over the top of the upright, it's good? Is that what the rule says?
Well, no. The rule is that it's supposed to be completely within the upright. So Clay,
because it would hit the fucking thing if it went over it, right?
Yeah.
So Clay Martin, who was the ref, he was taking shrapnel because he was there for the pool guys. So they asked him about that question with the field goal. And they said, "What did you see there?" And he said, "Well, our guy said that it was completely within the, the parameters of being in the pole before it went out, so it was a good field goal." And then they asked him about the play that I talked about earlier, where they didn't call. They said, "Would you see where the play clock got to 0 for 2 seconds?"
Uh-huh.
Well, the line judge always looks down, then he looks at the ball, then he looks at the clock, and at that point, he did not see an infraction. And then they said, "Well, once that happened, what did you see about the pass interference call?" Well, the back judge saw a arm grab at the top of the route, which is a pass interference, and we called pass interference on that play. So he had a bunch of things to atone for, but the most bullshit one, to Cardone's point, was the field goal, because he actually said the guy looked up and said that ball was completely within.
No, there's no way.
Right side of
There's no way.
The right side of it.
No, geometry or whatever trajectory. There's no way you can tell that thing's going over.
Here's a good way to do it, right? Here's kickers are too good nowadays anyway, right? So put another horizontal bar across the top, and you have to kick it into the fucking square. How's that? You have to kick it into the square.
Right? Why not?
I actually, I'm not kidding. I love that idea.
That's a great idea.
Can I have one more honorable mention pet peeve? I'll make it quick. I'm sorry, because I know we are going way long. But I was at the Nick Hornet game the night before Thanksgiving. Knicks blew out the Hornets. It was fun to be at a game where actually my team was the one with the Grey Goose, right? Laughing. And so if you guys have watched, listen to any PA announcer at any one of these arenas, college or pro, where the home team makes a three. It's like it doesn't matter what the score is, what's going on. Every arena, it goes on. So the Knicks were winning by 27 points the Hornets made like 2 threes at the meaningless threes, and this PA guy's going, and the drive for three, and the crowd's, and I'm thinking to myself, if that was me, I would be like, that was Johnson from Sales with a 3 right there. Yeah, Nick's dribbling out and drive home safely. We just lost by 27. Like that's the PA guy should be like Johnson for 3, and then like that was Smith for 3 on that one. So. Yep.
And the Knicks dribble it out and drive safely home, everybody.
But listen, just even on TV, watch any basketball game.
It's true.
Like everyone, like you're down, and then 20 seconds later, people are filing out of the arena. I'm like, you sound like an asshole.
That's so true across every sport right now.
God.
Players and all the hype and everything, the score literally doesn't matter anymore of the game.
Doesn't matter.
I was mad before, like I'm not kidding. I stopped watching the Giants game before halftime. I was mad about all the celebrating when the Giants scored the touchdown that they did.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are getting dogged right now. Stop
doesn't matter,
it.
Mike.
Get the fuck out of there.
You saw Singletary bouncing around in the end zone.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Oh, I saw one over the weekend. I forget what game it was, where they intercepted the ball in one end zone. And instead of just turning and celebrating with that end zone, they had to run the full 105 yards down to the other end zone, the whole team. So you got 11 guys running 105 yards. Like if you see me on that screen here running 105. I go, why not just turn around and do that to the end zone, the fans right there? Why do you got to run 105 yards? They picked the ball off in the end zone and run to the other end zone. Just turn around.
There's another phenomenon with that defensive thing that's happening too. I don't know if you guys have seen this because I've seen it a number of times now. So there's like an obvious penalty and the defense gets a turnover and they run it back and score. So the whole they know the fucking flag's out there. Every one of them knows it, but they want to celebrate so bad that they just pretend there's no flag so they can go into the end zone and do this for 10 seconds. Get out of here with the celebrating. Good God.
And I know Cardone knows this because he's been to Clemson, but Clemson, every time they go into a fourth quarter, they do this whole video and this whole thing on the screen with the fourth quarter and we're tough as nails and all this bullshit. Well, I was at a game, they're losing to Syracuse by 30 going into the fourth quarter. Could you not show that fucking video?
Yeah.
Just like exit out for that game.
Can the video.
It's like, don't show
video.
it.
Yeah, press on. Analytics say show the video.
Do analytics say show it or not? Show the video.
So we do literally have a ton of questions this week. I apologize to our friend Mike of the show who I didn't get to his questions last week. But Mike asks, are we taking shit from Panthers fans knowing that we're in Carolina? And what do they have that we don't? First off, I'm not taking shit from Panther fans. And if I say what do they have that we don't, I think it was said earlier. I love a surfer. They have heart. They play with they've been blown out against some bad teams, and they've beaten good teams, but they play with heart. Yeah. I'm not a fan of Bryce Young, and I don't think this team's doing anything. But guys, they go out every week and they compete.
Yeah.
I'd say the exact same thing. No, I'm not taking any shit. And B, it's heart. It's heart. It's an I don't know if it goes all the way up to GM or not. A lot of people love it on the GM. I don't know what he's done exactly, but they're an organized professional football organization at this point. And they haven't been that in the very recent past. And it should show us that doesn't take that long to turn around. No. But you got to pull the weed out, man. You got to get it out of there.
Yeah, furthermore, they started the season 0-2, so they've won 7 of their last 11. Carolina, It's impressive, man. No one can give myself shit about the Giants than myself. So I'm not taking anything from any Panther fan.
Panther fans just feel bad for me, so what does it matter?
Well, Mike's a big Mets fan, so he asks, what the fuck is wrong with the Mets? And What are the Mets doing trading Nimmo for a broken down second baseman who's too old?
I actually didn't hate the trade, to be honest, and I won't go into great detail, but Nimmo's getting old. He's on the downside of his career, and they didn't have enough money. He had a 4-year he's 4 years left in his contract. Simeon only has a couple. This was all part of a plan. I don't have an issue with it. But I don't like the fact they signed Devin Williams because that means they're probably not signing Diaz. So
I like
I'm
that
worried
you
about
signed
that.
Devin Williams.
I do not.
I'm okay
I was
with
not
that.
happy. Yeah.
Get rid of
I know.
that bum.
You
I
guys
saw him.
must-
Dude, I saw him blow more games than oh my God. Yeah.
I can't believe they signed him, but whatever. I just hope they sign Diaz. Honestly, I just want them to sign Alonso. I don't care about anything else. So.
Yeah.
I don't like closers without fastballs for some reason.
Yeah, well, that would stand to be the case, yes.
So Mike also asks that if we have one free shot with no repercussions, who would you pick, and would it be a kick to the nads or a punch to the face? And this is in the football realm. So I mentioned this earlier. For me, I'm taking a shot at Sirianni, and I'm hitting him in his mug, and I'm wiping that fucking smile off that fucking douche's face.
Yeah.
Oh, we get to do the punch or the
Yeah,
kick
we get to do the punch with no repercussions.
Gotcha. Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. I don't know. You got one teed up, Mike? I don't have one teed
Yeah,
up.
I got one
so-
because mine's been the same for a while, but I've had no reason to do it lately. But until very recently, I would punch Ryan Day right in the face, right between the eyes, as hard as I could.
Yeah.
Would his beard come off?
I don't know if it would just stay there as his head snapped back. I don't know. He needs a punch. Sirianni's such a good answer. He's
Can
the
I answer both?
definition in the dictionary of a guy who needs a punch in the face.
I'd like to take one of each, actually, if I can extend the question. So the punch, I'm punching the dick. I'm punching the dick in the face.
That was
Did I just take yours, Novak?
Yeah,
Sorry.
I was gonna say I would kick the dick in the dick.
Yeah, there you go. Well, my kick in the nuts is to fucking Joe Shane. He's getting kicked in the nuts. Shane's getting kicked in the nuts. The dick is getting punched in the face.
I actually might say Woody Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
I'd kick Woody Johnson in the nuts right in his Johnson.
Oh my God! How many
Or his
how
Woody,
many
either
different
one.
words for how many different words for dick did you just say in that sentence?
I had dick,
I would kick Woody Johnson in the nuts or dick.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
It's like
Austin Powers did that in Austin Powers 2, I think, right? Yeah.
That's right.
Woody, is that Johnson?
So I have to add a little context to what Mike said. So my wife's cousin, he runs the Atlanta Dome basically, and he said the only coach they ever have a problem with is Day. They said he comes in there, and they said first off they want to have practices where no one is watching at all. And he's like, well, dude, that's going to have to happen at like 10 o'clock at night because concession people are going to be around. So many people are setting up stuff that we're not going to just seal off the dome for you. And then the second point was no one can film us at all. And he went up and down him, and he actually threatened to go to the NCAA because there was a tripod set up on a corner. No camera in it, mind you. There was a tripod there, and he said it could have seen what they were doing from the
tripod.
practice. There's a tripod sitting there, and the guy's like,
That sounds about right to me. He's an idiot.
From my wife's cousin. My wife's cousin was like, well, there's a tripod set up there because we have a camera on it normally. We took the camera off it because you didn't want it to be filmed.
Fucking tripods spying on us.
I might want to add punch in the face. I might say Ryan Clark.
Yes.
Oh, right.
I like that one.
Good call.
Yeah. I did ask my wife's cousin if they needed like 5 Sharpies put on his table before so he
Color
could
his beard.
put his beard in. I've never seen a beard that fake.
Yes.
That's fake.
Everything about him is fake.
So Peacock has a bunch of questions here. Is it time to look at Carter as a trade option due to his attitude? I touched upon this earlier. Look, Carter is a young kid. He's not used to losing. How these guys handle losing, I think, is tough. I would not use him as a trade guy. The guy's got a ton of pressures this year. He doesn't have a whole lot of sacks. He finally did get a full sack against the Patriots. But look, how kids handle like frustration and losing, I think could be remedied by what Novak said. Get an adult in the room, mentor him.
Yep.
I wouldn't even dangle Abdul. You want to talk about a player who, if you traded them now, could go somewhere and make you pay for that for the next forever. Like, no, Abdul Carter's got some things he needs to work out. He needs to grow up. He probably needs a mentor on that team. I don't know if there's anyone there. You would think Burns or somebody like that, but whatever. He's got to figure this out, and I'd give him a couple more years before a couple of missed meetings before I'd throw him out the door.
We still have Jamie Gillian fucking running around.
Who's getting rid of Carter on this team?
So I mean, Slayton actually had a nice touchdown, but like if we're hanging on to Jamie Gillian, I certainly think we're okay to hang on to Abdul Carter for a couple years. So
I think Carter's
not
name
going
is
anywhere.
way down the list.
Yeah, he's fine.
So Peacock also asks, should we try to temper Dart? Take away his aggressiveness, or do we let him play as he wants to? And I'm going to go back to what Novak said. I'm really looking at him as a prophet for this podcast. The adult in the room will tell Dart, look, this is what you need to do. You will be successful. We just need the adult in the room.
You got to find the happy medium. I mean, it's like I always talk about with Cam Newton back in the day. The like year 2, the Panthers started talking about how they didn't want him to run anymore. And you're like, okay, well, now you've got a bad pocket passer instead of a potential league MVP. So, it's
week 3 against the Dolphins in a 14-3 game. Be smart.
Yeah.
Week 16 against the Eagles with the playoffs on the line. Go do you. You play the way you play.
Yep. And you can even do that within the game, right?
Right.
First drive of the game, you could put your head on the line and get another 1.5 yards for a first down, or you could just step out of bounds here and we punt. Let's be smart. Fourth quarter, less than 2 minutes left. We're driving down to potentially getting field goal range there. Yeah, all right, put your head down, dive at that thing, whatever you want to do, but you got to temper it. The play that got him knocked out for 2 weeks, he had the first down already by 7 yards when he got hit on that play.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have gone down at any moment, and it was a big play in that game, and we went on to lose, and I said it that week. I still think it now. I don't believe the Giants lose if Jackson Dart leaves that game.
Well, and I'm going to lean into this, Mike. He didn't fumble on that play.
No.
They never reviewed it, and yet there was a touchdown in this last game that the Patriots had that should have been reviewed to at least see was it a legitimate touchdown or not, and they never really did that. The guy's knee looked like he came down out of bounds. I don't know if it would have held up, but here's the thing. When they say they review everything, they're gaslighting you. They don't.
No, it was certainly worth a look because you really couldn't see if the one back foot actually tapped down somewhere before it came into camera view. But it certainly didn't look like it. But if they had a back angle on that, there was a very short, like maybe a 1.5 second beat where his back foot you couldn't see it. So what it did when you couldn't see it is what we need to know, because what it did when we saw it was not get down in bounds. So, I don't know how that. To your point, Scott, I don't know how that doesn't warrant a closer look.
Hey, we get closer looks on everything, but apparently that. Peacock also asks, what the fuck are the Jets doing? Why are they trying to win? Do they not want better draft picks?
Novak, give it to him.
Well, look, I'm not for tanking unless I've said this before, unless there's a Trevor Lawrence or someone like that is the guaranteed number one, no miss kind of player. There's not one this year. I would rather start to get a culture of we're building something, pick 7th, than lose our games on purpose and pick 2nd. We have draft capital that if we really fall in love with a quarterback, the Titans will trade with us. And because the Titans are going to be the number 1 pick, let's be honest. And we have 5 picks, number 1 picks over the next 2 years. If we really have to move up, we can get it.
The Jets have 13 picks in this upcoming draft.
13 picks.
13? Damn.
Yep. And only 6 of those are theirs.
And then we had a question come in asking, what is our game calling pair from hell? So
I got this question, so I'll answer it quickly because I know we'll probably want to do rapid fire. For me, it's Collinsworth and Jonathan Vilma. If those two ever work together, I'm not watching the game.
I was thinking about that pair.
Oh my God, that would be so bad.
I have half that group in mind, Novak. So,
hey, I have to just go with this since you took most of mine, Novak. Spiro Ditas and Adam Archuleta.
That's so bad.
Wow.
Cardone.
Yeah, I've got Vilma as one part of the duo. My other part, Mark Schlereth.
Oh, so bad. Oh, I forgot about that.
Schlereth and Vilma.
Is he still calling games?
I don't think so, but I mean, I didn't know if that was part of the rule for the question. I thought, he has. I don't know if he's still calling games, but Stink really came to mind, and I'm like, I got to go with, I don't know. Vilma was the first guy to come to my head.
Same.
Yeah.
But
he's awful.
But here's mine right now. It would be Tony Romo paired up in the booth with Gus Johnson.
Gus Johnson's so bad.
The game would be unwatchable.
He is so hard to watch. And listen to. Good God.
Gus, look at this. Gus, look at him. He's under the center. He's gonna snap it. No, he's not. Gus would be like, eh.
That Penn State Indiana game when they made that catch, I thought his head was going to explode.
Oh my God! And then, guys, we didn't do it last week. We always do our Thanksgiving thing. So I'm gonna give another question from my friend Mike, and then we can go into our Thanksgivings. But he asked, do any of us cook for Thanksgiving? And also, what is our favorite side dish? So I had 20 people over. I cooked 2 turkeys. I smoked one, did one traditionally. And my favorite side dish when I'm doing turkey is stuffing. So we do stuffing with bread, celery, and a ton of butter and onion.
Nice.
Oh, sounds good. I do not do the cooking really. I mean, I'm not a great cook. I'll admit it. I can grill, not bad, summertime kind of stuff. But as far as in the kitchen and doing like a big meal like that, I'm kind of more on the guy on the side doing like smaller things. So I'm not the full-time cook for sure. But stuffing, of course. I'll tell you one of my new favorite sides. Is stuffing with like little like bits of bacon. We fry up some bacon and we kind of like ground that into the stuffing. Also put that with a glaze over Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts are like my new favorite like side now. Crazy. So we did
Brussels sprouts with bacon. Oh my God, that's
we did it. Yeah, we did
I
that.
I served Brussels sprouts with bacon and cranberries and balsamic vinegar at Thanksgiving.
Nice.
Beautiful.
I'm going to go with stuffing too. My wife makes it though with Nice's sausage, which is awesome in there. It's really good.
So I do not cook at all on Thanksgiving. I'm like Cardone. I grill sometimes, but I'm in charge of the cocktails on Thanksgiving. So that I contribute in that way. But no, my favorite current side, because my wife doesn't make my favorite all-time side. My dad does. We haven't had Thanksgiving with him in a few years, but I love creamed corn. Yeah. I've always loved creamed corn. We couldn't find any this year, but my dad for Thanksgiving used to make an oyster casserole, and he and I were the only ones that ever ate it. That it was kind of had stuffing in it in the oyster casserole. But yeah, my wife's never been a fan, so that doesn't make it onto our table here. I have to go see Dad to get that.
Yeah.
So
sounds good though.
I know we're running long. I don't know if you guys have anything else, but I do want to give thanks because we usually do this on the Thanksgiving episode, and it's a little bit, it's around the same time. But I want to thank all of our listeners because we've had a great, run in the 6 seasons. We continue to have a lot of downloads. We continue to have a lot of interest in us. We continue to want to go viral. So, we continue to take parts from our different podcasts and post them. But it's been great. Yeah, we have a lot of fun doing this. I know it's tough having a fun, podcast when we're 2-11.
Yeah.
And I'm the number one instigator of that because I show up to most of these podcasts drunk, but it's one of those things where it's like, guys, hopefully this year is the stopping point and we move forward. I'm just thankful for all you three, as well as our listeners. I've had a ton of fun with you guys watching games, talking about games. You're an integral part of my daily routine and texting, so it's awesome.
Yeah.
You kind of just said it all there, Scott. Yeah, that was well said. Very thankful to the diehards who send us questions every week and keep that part of it going for us. We really appreciate that. So we don't have to make up our own questions and pretend like people are sending them to us. But yeah, it's thankful to have the opportunity to do it. It's a lot of fun. Of course, thankful for our time out at Mulligan's, which hopefully we'll have another one coming up here soon, because that's a great day. And I think we have to make it a rule that whatever, like if we're going for the 1:00 games, it's got to be San Francisco playing at 1:00 as well. We gotta get that into our window. Yeah. No. Thankful of, I think we're being specific to the podcast here, but of course, family, friends, all that stuff. It's just, we're all pretty blessed, I believe.
No question. Just echo what you guys said. You said it perfectly. Like I said, we've said many times, we've had this Giant team's made me miserable, not just watching NFL but other sports, and this makes it a lot easier to stomach week to week, getting together on here with you guys and friends and family, of course. It's always take the time to thank them at this time of year. So it's especially I had a significant year this year, moving into a new house, and so a lot of good things going on at home here. So couldn't be more thrilled about that, of course. So thankful to my it's funny, my companion, my cohabitation partner.
Christmas party, Cardone.
We don't, whatever we call each other, her and I.
Are we having a Christmas party at the new house?
Oh, we got it. We're working on it.
I'm putting you on the spot. No,
I know.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'll agree with all your sentiments, and I'm just really thankful for the New York Giants. It makes me feel better about being a Jets fan.
Yes.
I can see it.
That's actually, I have more wins than you.
Yeah, I think it's funny that
who would have thought
that? I had to say it.
None of us thanked our own teams, but Novak thanked our team. So that's awesome. Fuck this.
You guys got anything else?
Well, good.
That's it.
All right. Well, we will see you next week. The Giants do not play, but we'll be recapping the Jets and the Dolphins, and I'm sure we'll be talking about a lot of stuff going on around the NFL. Another NFC South match or AFC South matchup.
That's right. Always.
Yeah, I don't think there's one the following week, but we'll I know that it's a scheduling quirk.
It stops the 11-game streak.
All right, bye everybody.
All right. See you.